Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another gameplay impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Dragon Age Inquisition for the PlayStation 4. This title was sent to me by Inforpress Portugal so that I could give it a look and tell you guys my opinions on it. And let me tell you, I am loving the crap out of this game. It is quite simply just like that is my opening statement for this video. Like, this game is, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, Dragon Age ever made. Now, the reason I'm not going to flat out say it is the best, because this is the fact that this is going to change wildly depending on what your expectations are for a Dragon Age title. Now, the thing about this one is that it goes more into, in terms of combat, it flows a little bit more towards what you might have seen in a Dragon Age 2. So you've got, your standard action type combat that you're going to get, particularly on the consoles, obviously. And on the PC, you can get this exact same experience because you can play it with a gamepad. And it is, as a result, it is a little bit less tactical than what a lot of people have come to expect from the original Dragon Age Origins. However, that does not mean by any stretch of the imagination that it is a lesser game, because I actually enjoyed the combat in Dragon Age 2. What I didn't enjoy as much was probably the story and kind of the way that a lot of the scenarios repeated themselves, and just kind of like the low magnitude of it all. You weren't really trying to save the world as much. I mean, I guess you kind of were, but it never really felt like it. You never really left Kirkwall, and I don't know, I just wasn't a big fan of the story, and I also didn't like the fact that they didn't allow me to play a dwarf. Ooh. Are these guys on our side? Let me just check here real fast. Yeah, these are. But we do have a couple of dudes over there that aren't. So, essentially right now, the mages are at war with the Templars. So, Templars in this particular region of the game are essentially hostile against everybody. So, let's just take a look here. Templar Knight. You guys will notice that even though I said that this is quite a bit less... Oh, what the hell is happening to you, dude? That is one weird bug. I don't know why that happened. I hadn't seen that one before. But as I was saying, even though I did say that this was less tactical than Dragon Age Origins, you still have a tactical camera, which is pretty good, and it allows you to pretty much assign moves for everybody in your party. So as you can see, we have a couple of Templar Knights here. They're going to try and engage on us on sight. So there's 3 of them, and I am going to organize my party. You can cycle through your party by simply using the D-pad once you go into the tactical camera. Going into the tactical camera is just a matter of pressing the touchpad on your controller, on your PS4 controller. I'm not exactly sure what it's like on the Xbox, but I'm assuming there's a similar function. And what we're going to do, at least I was going to try and get Cassandra to charge that guy, but we're still a little bit too far. So let's go ahead and move slightly a bit closer, and now we should be able to plan our engage. So Cassandra is a tank. My main character over here, Rurik, he is also a tank. However, my character is not a dedicated tank. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'll explain it to you guys a little bit more later on. I'm just going to get Cassandra over here to charge this dude. I'm going to get her to do the bull thing, whatever that thing's called, bull rush, charging bull. Yeah, that's the name of it. So she's going to charge that dude, and I'm going to get Varric to take a long shot at that guy. So let's switch over to Varric here real fast. And he should be able to take a nice long shot at this individual right here. And then I'm going to get my own character to go and pick up another dude that's in the distance. Now, I'm not going to touch the mage because the mage is automatically going to cast a spell on us, which is called Barrier, which essentially generates a shield. Now, as far as I've seen so far, there are no healers in Dragon Age Inquisition, so don't expect that. But essentially, if you now want to resume time, you should just select your character there and press the middle button again, resumes time. My party will engage. Cassandra will focus down the other dude, and I want to grab this one. Oh, I missed my grab. No. So something that I really like about the skills in Dragon Age 2 is the fact that if you miss a skill, it actually counts as, it doesn't really lower your cooldown, so you should still be fine. Now, in case you guys are wondering on the difficulty that I'm playing right now, I am playing on hard, mainly because I want to be able to not have to just plan out every single move. So I'm not playing on the hardest difficulty of all. I know that there is one difficulty above the difficulty that I'm playing it as, but it's whatever. I just want to play on hard so that I can still have fun with it and play more action type combat, because I like it. But you can still do, as you guys could probably see there, you can still do the tactics and all that other good stuff. Now, we are doing a couple of quests. I'm not going to spoil anything major for you guys. This is the map of the hinterlands. As you guys should probably know by now, the game is not open world. However, it might as well be. It seems like we're going in the wrong direction for some reason. Looks like we gotta close a Fade Rift here? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Although it does seem that, yes, we should go there, and we have to close a Fade Rift. But before we do that, I want to go get these guys. Get the Apostates over here in Witchwood. Because like I said, the Apostates are at war with the Templars. I do not want to reveal too much of the story, but we are very, very early into the game. So anything that I might tell you is still extremely early on, so it shouldn't really be considered a spoiler per se. But essentially, the Templars and the Mages were coming under... I was going to say under the guys, but it's not really guys, not really the right word. There was going to be a conclave, and they were going to meet up with the divine Justinia, who was the leader of the Chantry. And something happens, and essentially all hell breaks loose, and people start thinking that it was a trap. I'm not going to go into too many details here, but people start thinking it was a trap, and just complete war breaks out between mages and apostates. And as per usual, you are right there in the middle of it, as is kind of the usual theme with Dragon Age. So let's go ahead and engage here. You can see that we got mages and apostates fighting, and they're just hostile. There's nothing we can do at this point to kind of stop it, so we just have to go in there and start beating people up. There we go. I'm just going like not being too tactical about this, even though you can essentially plan out the way that your characters work. So even though I'm not being too tactical, they are employing the tactics that I've given them. Oh wow, enhanced barrier ring. That's actually really good, and it gives me a chance to go into the inventory and show you guys the inventory system. So this is actually one of the weakest points in the game, the user interface in the inventory and whatnot. It is a little bit clunky and kind of hard to get used to. But if you press the D-pad down, this switches your party members instead of actually switching the menu options. And that is one of the main reasons why this is so confusing. You actually have to use the left stick to go up or down. You guys are like, oh, that's not really such a big deal. Trust me, it is, because most of the games, whenever you're in menus, you're just used to having up and down on the D-pad. So it is very, very confusing, at least to me personally. I don't know. So we picked up an accessory, which was the enhanced barrier ring. We're going to give it to Solace over here, who is our mage, because this is going to enhance the barrier skill, which is like the shielding skill that he does. And this is essentially how you equip your characters. You go around, whatever you pick up, you can just like equip it, unless it's specific for race. Like for instance, these Vitars are for Kunaris, and I don't really have a Kunari. You can also be a Kunari, by the way. You can be human, elf, dwarf, and Kunari at the start of Dragon Age. The backstory of your character is usually fairly generic. So the backstory of my character as a dwarf is I was a smuggler. And again, I keep going in the wrong direction. So I'm actually in the right place right now. Yeah, I have to go over here. Now, I am doing mostly side quests so that I don't spoil anything for you guys in terms of war. Looks like we have a couple of dudes over here. We're going to engage on them. So this is a cell sword. Another cell sword. Then we have two mages in the back. Okay, those mages are going to be a problem. So what we're going to do is I want Varric to actually shoot that guy because he's in sight, and Varric's got a skill, which is that square skill. Oh, I'm gonna have to move him forward. That kind of sucks. I didn't want it to move him forward. So here's a useful thing that you can do. You can move Varric over there, and let's have her engage on the other cell sword over there to the right. So you're gonna go ahead and charging bull here. The mage is already getting prepared to cast barrier. As a matter of fact, he's already casted it. But something that I really like is the fact that you can slowly advance time by pressing R2 on the tactical camera. So let's say, okay, I want Varric to get in range of that mage so that I can cast my skill. So I can just press R2 once, it's going to do this. If I keep pressing R2, it's going to keep moving until I want it to stop. So I think right now I might be able to get Varric to do a long shot. Let's just take another look. Nope, still not enough. So what we're going to do is, again, we are going to keep moving Varric a little bit further up. Now my character, I'm not moving him because my character is going to engage directly on this guy, and I'm going to be doing that in real time. So again, just trying to move into a position that I can shoot this guy in the face, which has been achieved, so he should be able to do a long shot there. Then Varric will focus down that mage. Our mage will attack whatever he wants to attack. It's not very important. Cassandra will focus that guy, and I will go directly into this guy. Where are you going? I actually did a taunt there, which wasn't my intention, but that's fine. So I just want to kill this guy. I don't know what Cassandra's up to. She's just like, she charged way far away there. So another thing that I really enjoy, you guys can probably imagine, is the fact that I'm playing as a dwarf and I am shield slamming the crap out of people. And I also have a big boot for whenever I do that scorpion grab move. So the objective of the way that I'm playing my character is he is more of an off-tank and a disruptor than anything else. Also, he's going to be a buffer because I'm going to give myself a special shot that will buff the damage of my party members, which should just make them really beefy. Now, there is a reasoning behind why I do not want my character to be a main tank, and you guys will realize what that reason is when we get to a rift, which I will do a side rift here for you guys. What's this? Barriers can be destroyed with enough of the opposite type of elemental damage. Fire barriers can only be damaged by a mage's cold attacks. Interesting. I'm not sure if we have cold attacks there. So let's see. Do we have a cold attack staff? I was not expecting that. So currently the staff that we have is fire. So yeah, that's not going to do it. That's not really going to do it for us. So we're not going to be able to break that barrier down. Interesting. That is very interesting. I hadn't seen one of those before. Let's keep moving on. The other thing that we needed to do is deal with the apostates. I guess that dealing with the apostates essentially demands us to go inside that cave, though, so we can't do it yet. We'll have to find a nice staff. But that's fine. I had other things that I wanted to show you guys. I guess we can't complete that particular quest right now. But we will go over here and close this rift. So let's keep moving along. So one of the things that I really have to say, and I haven't even mentioned it yet, is that the graphics look really good. That's my personal opinion. Some people might not appreciate the art style. I think that some of the characters have gone a little bit too far in terms of how thin they are. Like Cassandra would be one of those characters. Like if you take a close look at Cassandra, she is just like, I don't know, she just seems too thin for a warrior. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, I mean, for a character like Cassandra, you would think someone more in lines with the girl from the Game of Thrones, which I can't really remember what her name is. And Solas, oh my god, he's like motherfucking stick man over here. So yeah, so some people might not dig into that, but the dwarves look fine. I really like the dwarves. Dwarves look amazing, and the fact that you can play with Varric is a very big plus, because I was a really big fan of Varric in Dragon Age 2. Again, I do realize a lot of people chose maybe not to play Dragon Age 2 on account of the fact that it was very much a lesser game in the series, but it should not discourage you of getting into Dragon Age Inquisition. So this is one of the side things that you can do. Even though the game is not open world, it has a lot of open world-like activity, so I'm going to claim this. It's going to give me a little bit of lore text. There's tons and tons of lore text. If you're the kind of guy that likes to read lore text, like this Dragon Age has got it in spades for you. Third the Bright Axe, proud of her tribe, free from follow fat below, built in battle, fed on fighting, strong from struggle did they grow. Deep in caves the Stoneman tribe, Hender's warriors stout and strong, met the tribe with axes ready, gleaming swords blade long. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get into that. Let's just keep going, because I want to go ahead and seal a rift so that you guys can see the rift mechanics. So your character has been marked in the middle of the event that takes place at the conclave that I mentioned previously. Nobody really knows why he's been the one who's chosen to be marked. Oh, we don't have a key for this cabin. Okay. Nobody really knows why he was the one who was chosen to be marked, but essentially the mark allows him to seal these rifts. And these rifts are rifts that connect to the Fade. Now, I can't really tell you guys about what the Fade is, because that would be almost like an episode in and of itself, but it's the place where people go when they dream, essentially, and you can become stuck in the Fade, so to speak. And the mages draw their power from the Fade. So there are creatures that are pouring out of the Fade, and this was an event that someone made happen. It is not something that happened by chance. At least I don't think so. They kind of made it seem like this is something that happened for a reason. And the main reason why I do not want to be the main tank is because being the main character and being the character who is marked with the special ability, you can disrupt these rifts. But if you're tanking and taking aggro, you won't be able to disrupt because you'll be interrupted. So when you disrupt these rifts, your enemies will take a bunch of damage and they will be stunned and all kinds of bad things will happen to them. So you want your main character to be able to disrupt these rifts. And if you're tanking, I kind of feel like you're going to have a hard time with that. Which is why I decided to go with more of an off-tank role. So there we go. As you can see, they're burning, they're stunned, they took a bunch of damage. It just makes things really, really easier if you can just break down these rifts. Now, I should also mention that I'm currently level 6 and the enemies that I'm fighting are level 5. But my party is only level 5. My character is one level ahead of my party. But still, let's go ahead and continue here. I just wanted to show you guys that... that even though I am one level above the enemy, it is still mostly because I'm being very effective at disrupting the thing and whatnot. And after you do a couple of waves of monsters, in these first rifts, it's just 2 waves, you can close the rift. And as you close the rift, you're going to, you know, complete events and whatnot, and you're going to gain experience, you're also going to gain influence, and you're going to gain power, you're going to get a ton of stuff. Now, the influence, I'm not exactly sure what that does yet, but I'm assuming it's got something to do with the Inquisition and whatnot. I'll be showing you guys the stronghold of the Inquisition as well. And the power allows you to send people out on missions, which may unlock new areas and stuff like that. These are some shards that I've already marked by using this special skull thing that allows you to collect these shards. This is also a side objective type of thing. Now, I did have other things that I wanted to do here, so let's take a look at the quest map. There's like tons and tons of activities that you can perform. So, for instance, here we have to go find 12 pieces of lyrium ore. Here we have to mark locations for watchtowers. I should actually go find a camp that I could form, but doesn't look like we're close to any of them. So let's go ahead and do the watchtower quests since we're very, very close anyways. So the reason why we want to do these watchtowers is because one of the persons... Are we getting attacked? Oh, looks like there's enemies around. Let's go ahead and get into an engagement here and just clear out anybody that's around. Hello, boys. Oh, of course I'm not going to be able to drag them up here. Hello. Why are you beating on that mage? Let me kill him. Don't worry about it. I try to get involved in as many fights as I can. Oh, man. I just really like the combat system. I feel the combat system is very satisfying. And it is one of the things that's actually also got me somewhat hooked on the multiplayer as well. Yes, this Dragon Age also comes with multiplayer in the same style as Mass Effect 3. For those of you who are familiar for it, but I will show... I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show it to you guys in this video, but I will definitely... link you guys to a video that I've done in the past that shows you some of the multiplayer. So let's keep going through here. Let's see. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, we're looking for the locations for the watchtower. So I'm supposed to go up there, I'm assuming. So this is also something new. You weren't able to jump on any of the previous Dragon Ages, really. And it does bring a new dynamic to the game because essentially the world feels a lot more open, even though, again, it is not traditional open world game. It very much behaves like one. So let's keep moving above here. Oh yeah, this thing that I keep doing, this is essentially a little pulse that reveals any loot that's in the vicinity. The reason for that is the scenario is so detailed that sometimes it gets hard for you to pick up on what's loot and what's not. So this, you just pulse this, and as long as you can hear that noise, that means that you found something. So there's stuff back there, but I'm not going to be bothering picking every single little thing. So it looks like there's another location that we can mark. Again, another piece of lore text is going to pop up. Oh no, this is for the watchtowers, never mind. So we've marked the first watchtower. Let's see, where would the next one be? Quest map. This is for shards, this is for seeing red. Hunger pangs. The Lone Warden. One of Leliana's agents reported a man calling himself Black Wall, dressed in full Grey Warden regalia, last seen traveling through the Ferelden hinterlands. Oh, we should actually go there. We have an outpost over here, and the outposts allow us to do fast travel. So I'm going to fast travel to the Upper Lake camp, and I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do that particular quest. So obviously there's a ton of stuff that I can show you in Dragon Age, and none of them is going to really reveal to you guys just how massive the game is. So I'm just trying to do a couple of quests that don't spoil too much stuff for you, and then we're going to go into the stronghold of the Inquisition. In terms of story so far, I've really enjoyed it. It's going to be one of those things that it might be about your personal preferences, whether you enjoy them or not. But I've really enjoyed the story so far, and I really like the fact that you can finally not just be that main character that BioWare envisioned for you. Because I think that's something that works really well in sci-fi with what they did for Mass Effect, but I don't think it works that well in fantasy. Because everybody in fantasy likes to either be human or elf or dwarf or whatever. And I just feel that people like customizing stuff a lot more in this kind of an RPG. Although, again, that could just be me. Now, I do believe that I teleported to one of my camps, and I don't know where the hell I'm going. Okay, we're supposed to go in this direction. Oh yeah, we have to go up the waterfall here, which is again one of those things that you have to go ahead and make use of the jumping mechanic. Now, the jumping mechanic is still not the best. It still feels a little bit rough around the edges, but it definitely frees you to do a lot more exploration. Whereas obviously in the previous Dragon Ages you had very confined spaces. Here you have really open spaces. I mean, just look at the draw distance on this. You can see stuff all over the damn place, and it just looks really good, in my personal opinion anyways. And we happen to come across we obviously happen to come across a waterfall here, which just kind of illustrates it even better. It is a very good looking game, and it plays really good. So it's just one of those things. I've really been enjoying it. However, some of the animations sometimes in the cinematics, they feel like the cinematics were more designed around humans and elves. So sometimes you don't really get the proper cinematic animations on the dwarf. And you can kind of tell, but it still works fine. So it looks like this is Blackwall. Let's see what's up with that.
Remember how to carry your shields. You're not hiding, you're holding. Otherwise, it's useless.
Blackwall. Warden Blackwall.
You're not. How do you know my name? Who said... Ah! That's it. Help or get out. We're dealing with these idiots first. Conscripts, here they come!
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's just go into tactical view here. Wow, we have a ton of people on our side, though. It's going to be pretty hard to lose this. So we got bandits, and Black Steel scouts. So these guys seem like they're just going to charge head first because they're idiots. And then we have the dudes in the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Varric over here, just long shot one of these dudes in the back. And we're obviously going to have... I'm still kind of learning the way that she does her bull charge thing. I think I want to have her do it here. Yeah, just do it there. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. The mage is already casting Burial. Looks like he's going to hit most of our allies as well. So I'm just going to switch to my character, and I'm going to, I don't know, tank one of these two dudes. Yep, that worked like flawlessly. Did you guys see how that worked for the charging bull? That was great. Shield slam. I can also taunt, but I don't want to use my taunt. Because, like I said, I don't want my character... I don't want to get used to having this character as a main tank. I love that kick! That kick is so good!
Sorry, bastards. Good work, conscripts. Even if this shouldn't have happened, they could have... Well, thieves are made, not born. Take back what they stole. Go back to your families. You saved yourselves. You're no farmer. Why do you know my name? Who are you?
I know your name because I'm an agent of the Inquisition. I'm investigating whether the disappearance of wardens has anything to do with...
Maker's balls. The wardens and the... No, you're asking so you don't really know. First off, I didn't know they disappeared. But we do that, right? No more blight, job done. Wardens are the first thing forgotten. But one thing I'll tell you, no warden. Our purpose isn't political.
I'm not here to accuse, not yet. I just need information. I've only found you. Where are the rest?
I haven't seen any wardens for months. I travel alone, recruiting. Not much interest because the Archdemon is a decade dead, and no need to conscript because there's no blight coming. Treaties give wardens the right to take what we need, who we need. These idiots forced this fight, so I conscripted their victims. They had to do what I said, so I told them to stand. Next time they won't need me. Grey Wardens can inspire. Make you better than you think you are.
Do you have any idea where the other wardens could have gone?
Maybe they returned to our stronghold at Weishaupt. That's in the Anderfels, a long way north. I don't really know. Can't imagine why they'd all disappear at once, let alone where they'd disappear to.
You're no help. I'm no further ahead than I was.
Inquisition. Agent, did you say? Hold a moment. And the sky's torn. Events like these, thinking we're absent is almost as bad as thinking we're involved. If you're trying to put things right, maybe you need a warden. Maybe you need me.
The Inquisition needs all the support it can get. But what can one Grey Warden do?
Save the fucking world if pressed. Look, maybe fighting demons from the sky isn't something I'm practiced at. But show me someone who is. And like I said, there are treaties. Maybe this isn't a blight, but it's bloody well a disaster. Some will honor them. Being a warden means something to a lot of people.
Warden Blackwall, the Inquisition accepts your offer.
Good to hear. We both need to know what's going on. And perhaps I've been keeping to myself for too long. This warden walks with the Inquisition.
Okay, so in usual Dragon Age fashion, after you conscript a new character into your party, it allows you to select that character and you can take that character with you onto your current mission. So we're actually going to be doing that. I'm going to be replacing Cassandra by Blackwall because I haven't really seen them yet. So I'm just going to confirm that. I'm assuming that he's some kind of a tank. He's got sword and shield anyways. So he should be somewhat of a tank. Let's take a look at some of his abilities here. He's got no abilities. Okay, so it looks like I'll have to level him up. So that's good. I mean, at least I got to level him up and essentially show you guys what that's about. So we'll go into the character record here. Also, just a really quick note. I noticed, you guys probably noticed that I censored a couple of parts in that dialogue because there's an event that takes place that I haven't revealed as of yet, and I would very much prefer to keep that event not revealed because it's something that I've noticed they don't mention it on the website, so I could be considered spoilerish even though it happens like in the first 10 minutes of the game. It's still like something that I would kind of considered to be somewhat spoilerish for someone who hasn't seen any information on the game yet. So essentially this guy looks like I can make him up to be whatever I want. So what I want is I want him to be a tank. So we're going to put War Cry and Call to Arms. So here's the way that this stuff works, by the way. You can essentially select whichever tree for the warrior you want. Now, as you play through the game, if you guys play through Dragon Age Origins, you guys should know that you will unlock secret classes by doing certain quests. Like for the warrior, I think you can unlock the Reaver, the Champion, the Templar, and a bunch of... well, not sure if there's a lot more for the warrior. I don't know all these things by head, but you can unlock secret, I wouldn't call them secret, I would call them special classes as you progress through the game. So this is not everything that's available to you, but I want to give this guy a mix of Vanguard and Weapon and Shield so that we can just have ourselves a straight tank. So we're going to give him Shield Wall as well. And we're going to improve that Shield Wall because I want him basically taunting all the time and getting in as much tanking done as possible. Wait. We're not done yet. We're not done. We're going to go over here. Wait, we haven't applied any of this yet, have we? So let's go ahead and start applying stuff. What's this? Touchable defense. They can't kill what they can't hit. You get a bonus to your maximum guard. Kind of like that, but I also like Charging Bull. Charging Bull is just so good. Can we have 2 of them? Gore and Trample? No, Gore and Trample is not that great. Well, actually it is. Your next ability costs no stamina. That's pretty beast. I also have Challenge, but I don't want to get Challenge. How about Cutting Words? Your party does more damage to taunted targets as you rattle your enemies' nerves and go to into mistakes and leave them open. Perfect! That is just perfect for like this. Oh, damn it, I forgot to do this. But we will get this on the next one because I want to get a couple of things off here. Namely, this. Wait, I've already have these? Yeah, it looks like I already have these, so I still have 2 points. Now, should I go, you can't be flanked by enemies and you're less likely to be staggered when hit from the front? That's pretty good, too. Should I go for Payback Strike, though, I wonder? Lunge and Slash. And Shield Bash. Well, Shield Bash is pretty good, but I want it to be the shield bashing one. Although, you never know. I mean, because with the tank... I always have the chance to respec, by the way. There's an option to respec. I won't be able to show it to you guys today, but there's an option to respec, so just gotta know that. But anyways, we already have the shield wall, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some more stuff into Vanguard, starting with the Call to Arms, and might as well give them damage return. What's this gonna be? You focus on defensive training, gaining guard for each nearby enemy. Yeah, this is perfect. So we're gonna go through here and advance on to down there. There we go. That should make this guy pretty much of a beast of a tank. Now, after you do that, you can actually assign where each ability will go. And in this case, we're going to go ahead and put Charging Bull as square. That's perfect. And this will give us all we need for this character right now. And after that, you can also assign a behavior to him, which is like, okay, how do you want to play? And usually for tanks, I'm like, okay, you can keep 10% of your stamina. You want to follow my character. And Healing Potion Reserve is you have a set amount of healing potions, and when you reach the number 2, he's going to stop drinking healing potions. Until then, he will automatically heal himself whenever he is below 20%. Let's also switch these characters because they're assigned to follow Cassandra. And now I want them to follow Blackwall, and I forgot. I want, where is he? Varric to follow Solus. Okay, this is perfect. This is just perfect. We can also level up our other characters, but I'm not going to do that because our other characters also have points. As you can see, Solus got a point here. But I could stay here all day long just leveling characters. I mean, I think you guys kind of get the idea. Let's switch back to my dwarf here. Going to take this mosaic piece, and I'm going to loot this. And essentially, this should give you a vague idea of all the stuff you can do in the open world, as well as a nice little cinematic that we've had there that I wasn't really expecting. But it was pretty good because it showed me, it allowed me to show you, actually, how the cinematics look like in this game, which in my opinion, they look pretty damn good. So there's a piece of paper there that might give us yet another quest. This is a lot of the quests you will get just by walking around through the world. So this is just the first area that you have access to. This is the hinterlands. And I haven't even gone, as you guys can see, halfway through it. This is the first area that you visit in the game. And it is this big, okay? So just to give you an idea, you're like, okay, but if that's the only area, it's not that much. But when you're in these areas, it works very much like an open world game. Now, I'm assuming as you play through the game, eventually some of these areas will become locked as the quest progresses, because Dragon Age kind of does that stuff. I'm not sure if Inquisition is going to be the same thing or not, but usually certain events will take place that will kind of say, okay, now you're moving forward. So that's what's going to happen. But let's go into the world map so that I can show you guys a different location. We're going to go into Holding the Mire, even though this particular mire is... it is still a bit too high level for me. So the only reason I want to go there is because you guys have seen what the environment of the hinterlands look like. And I want you guys to see a different environment, which is the mire. Now in the mire, there's a bunch of undeads and whatnot. And our objective here is to find a bunch of soldiers of the Inquisition that are being held captive. So obviously you're always going to want to bring as much strength to the Inquisition as possible, since you're essentially the leader of the Inquisition. So a great big deal of your efforts are spent, you know, bolstering your numbers and gathering forces. Kind of like what you did in Origins, if I'm to be completely honest. If you guys remember, in Origins, you were essentially gathering people to fight against the Blight. This time, you're gathering people to fight against the Breach, which is that fade thing that shows up in the sky. So as you can see in the mire, it is constantly raining. The environment is not that different to the Hinterlands environment, but these are the two zones that I have available to me without going into too much story details. So, yeah, but let's take a look at the map here. It should give you an idea of how big the map is, as well as you can see there's stuff all the way down here. So tons of stuff still to explore, and obviously as I explore through the map I will find new quests and new things to do, and these are just 2 areas. I don't even know how many areas like this are available in the game, but there are a ton of hours for you to spend just roaming through these areas, doing combat and whatnot. Now here, we should really be careful because these guys are actually level 12, so we might just get our asses kicked. So we gotta be just like, yeah, super careful. Go ahead, come on, smash this dude in the face. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Kill him dead. Kill him dead. And down he goes like a sack of potatoes. Okay, let's get some elf fruit. And that is that. So you guys have seen another scenario, and I know that I'm kind of rushing through the video at this point because I don't want to waste too much of your time. I think you guys have gotten a good idea of how the game plays like. Now, let me show you guys your base of operations, which is in Haven, and that is where the Inquisition essentially stands. And I will show you guys also the War Council, which is where you make decisions of how stuff gets handled by the Inquisition. But so far, like generally, I really like the graphics. I really like the animations. I think the voice acting is phenomenal, and I really like the fact that my character is not forced into being a human, and the voice acting to me here is on par with the voice acting of Mass Effect 3, which I have to say I didn't really feel that Dragon Age 2 was quite there, but Inquisition has definitely stepped it up quite a couple of notches. So this is where your base of operations is. That is the breach that you want to close. You have a mark on your hand, which is what allows you to, you know, close the smaller breaches, and you're essentially powering up your army to go and fight over at that big breach, so that you can supposedly close it. And obviously there's a lot of drama and stuff that happens in between. Now, if you notice in the map here there on the lower left screen, you see that you have characters here that you can talk to, like Cassandra. You can talk with these characters. You can romance these characters. I haven't romanced a single character because I really haven't really seen a character that I would like to romance with my dwarf. Although there is one, which is Scout Harding, but you guys haven't seen her in the video. But I don't believe that you can romance her because she's not really a playable character, which is a damn shame because I would very much like to romance Scout Harding. It just seems like it would be pretty cool. So we also have Thren over here, who is the Quartermaster. So the Quartermaster is going to give you a bunch of requisitions that she wants you to carry out. So like, for instance, she wants us to gather, what's this? Crystals. We need to find 1 crystal grace and 5 obsidian, which we haven't found yet. But we already have stuff like Drakestone and ram leather. So as you craft stuff, this will give you benefits within the Inquisition. So for instance, if I craft this, it's probably going to give me +1 power or something. Yeah, this one will give me +1 power. This one will give me +1 power as well. And our soldiers will become more effective because they're going to get better weapons. You also have Liliana here, which is a returning character. She is our spy master. She manages all of our spies that go around and whatnot. But let's go ahead and enter the Chantry building. This is like our main headquarters. Those are flags flying over there, the Inquisition flags. And we're going to open this. And here is this is just such a big deal. Like, people who enter from previous Dragon Age, I mean, people who haven't played previous Dragon Ages don't understand how much of a big deal it is for you to come up to a door, press X, door opens, and you go right inside. It is such a big deal because in previous Dragon Ages, it's like, go up to a door, you press, boom, loading screen, and you have to wait. And it just flows. I don't have any other explanation. It just straight up flows. So there's a bunch of stuff that you can explore in these rooms. But for now, we're going to go straight into the War Council so that I can show you guys a couple more things that you can do. So whenever you enter this room, it summons up your war council, which is constituted of a bunch of people. You can see the dude over there who is an ex-Templar. You can see Cassandra. I'm not sure if you noticed, what's her name? Leliana to our left, and there was yet another character to the right who is our diplomat, kind of like the character who knows her way around nobility and whatnot. And now you can spread your influence throughout the kingdoms of Orlais or Ferelden, which will give you different advantages and will open up different zones. Now this will all depend on the amount of power you have. Currently we have 5 power. As you complete quests and do objectives throughout the world, you will gain more power, and this will sometimes allow you to open up new areas. Now currently I don't think I have any areas that I can actually open up. But there are areas that I can do missions in. So, for instance, we could do... Okay, so the Terran of High Hever, turns out it was something that I couldn't show you because, again, mentions that event that I'm trying to not mention in this video. Good God. So let's go ahead and pick something else. We have a report here for something that we already completed. Address the nobleman's concerns, Ambassador Montelier. So the Inquisition is a hollow prank, a jest to swindle the righteous. The tide of apostates and demons swells on my doorstep as you do nothing. My death will be on your head and the heads of all other charlatans of the Inquisition, and it will leave a stain so dark the Maker himself could not remove it. Yours truly, Lord Kildarn. So this guy is pretty upset because he wanted me to go over to his property and kill a bunch of Templars and apostates, and I said no, because you're being a scumbag, and I didn't like his attitude, essentially. So I declined to do that mission. I think he was pretty upset with me. Not sure if you guys could tell that. So we got Red Jenny, the Inquisition needs bees. I do not know how someone would come to this idea, but I can see the use. It is a large area to search. However, memo from Josephine. Written note from Sarah. Know what ruins a party? Bees. I know a man who teaches how to jar them safe and angry. Stingy, no good for honey, but great for throwing. He's somewhere south. Sarah scribbled a jar of bees hitting someone in the face, also a butt. So Sarah is one of the characters, is one of those more colorful characters. And she apparently has gotten this mission that allows us to get a specific item. So now you can select which one of your dudes is going to handle this mission. So you can have Cullen, who is going to send troopers over there to search. Actually, he's going to send bounty hunters. You can have Leliana, who would say, if he's peddling them to fighting forces, my people will find the trail. And we can have Josephine, who says, I can send runners among the bands. If this weapon can help, it will be found. So I'm thinking we should send Leliana, who's got the spies and whatnot, and they will find whatever we need. So that's going to take 30 minutes. So if you stay in game for 30 minutes, you'll eventually get the results of this quest. We also have a new one over here, the Cult of Andraste. It's incredible how many passages remain undiscovered even after the Chantry's arrival, and they scoured every inch of these mountains for years in search of anything related to the sacred ashes. The cult didn't build all this. It was here long before. Who knows how many years it would take to find it all. Of the new passages uncovered during the search, most were long empty or contained goods far beyond salvage. Few, however, yielded some artifacts of interest, and one evidently contained strange runes we have yet to translate. If we can find someone capable of doing so, they might prove of use. So we've gotten a life word amulet out of that. So let's go into the Kingdom of Orlais and see what we can do there. So we got another one here. Utilize the Grey Warden treaties. The Inquisition is in its infancy. Building an organization as this is like building an army. You need soldiers, weapons to arm them, food to feed them, and it's just the beginning. I joined knowing I could make a difference. I have Grey Warden treaties, and these allow us to take what's needed when needed. We do not face a blight, but surely Torn Sky warrants as much concern. Consider it Warden Blackwall. So this is a mission that Blackwall gave us, and the only person left to deal with it is Josephine. This could work. The blight is but 10 years past, and Thetis remembers how we were saved. I can use the treaties, leverage the goodwill owed by the wardens, and use it for the Inquisition. She is actually the best person to send for this task regardless, because she is like the diplomat type of character. So yeah, go ahead. So there, as you can see, this is how kind of like sending people on missions work. Sometimes missions will show up that require power, like for instance, this one over here. No, this one. This one requires 15 power, and it will open up a new area, but we only have 5 power, so we can't open that yet. But this is the war table where you kind of like send your scouts out and do warlike stuff. It also is how I unlocked some of the zones. Now, for whatever reason, it puts my dwarf in his pajamas whenever he's exiting that room. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but yeah. So let's get out of here. There's also a crafting system. There's just so much depth to this game that trying to explain it all in a video is almost impossible. So let's go ahead and... Oh, wow, these dudes were glitching up a little bit there. I would very much like to show you guys the crafting system if I could just get myself to the place where you can do crafting. Just to show you guys very, very simply. We're obviously not going to be able to do multiplayer today, but I will leave a link in the description. What I can tell you about multiplayer is that it reminds me a lot of the Mass Effect multiplayer. So if you've played that, you should have a pretty good idea of what it's like. It's these separate missions. They do not connect with single player at all. They are entirely separate, and they're just like little co-op missions that you do, and you unlock new characters and new classes as you complete them. And your classes also level up, you get loot, but it's a completely separate system from this. So essentially, you can craft stuff like, let's say, okay, I want to craft a piece of armor. You can come over here. These are the recipes that I have. You can also learn new recipes by finding them throughout the world or whatever. And you can essentially say, okay, I want to craft this, and then you select the materials. So we would have to select what do you want to make it of. You want to make it of iron. And depending on the materials you select, it's going to have different properties. So we could have, let's say, okay, I want iron, and that would give me defense slot plus 1% melee defense. Then I could select, okay, and in terms of the leather piece or cloth piece, I want cotton, which would give you, in the defense slot, 2% healing bonus from all sources, or plus 1% magic defense, and boom. And if you would confirm this, this would craft a piece of chest armor that would give you all of that. Then on top of that, I'm not going to craft that, obviously. On top of that, you can also modify... wait, that was for weapons. You can also modify your existing armor. So right now, I'm wearing the Con Plate 1. Whenever you craft something, you can name it, which is something I really like. Because I just crafted this, and I named it Con Plate Mark 1. Kind of like the Iron Man suits. So you can essentially like upgrade stuff, like you can have Defender Coat Arms. And I already have those equipped, but you can also have some heavy legs, which I don't really have. But once I find heavy legs, I will be able to upgrade the armor using that particular modifier. Same thing works for everything. That means helmets, swords, shields, both in single player and multiplayer, as well as potions. You can also craft potions in a very similar manner as this. So I kind of feel like I've overwhelmed you guys with information, but it's just because I really enjoy this game. I think this is a really good game. In terms of PC performance, because I have played the PC port a little bit. If you play with a gamepad, I don't see any problems. Some people have expressed some concerns with keyboard, but again, I haven't had that much experience with it because I just played with a gamepad, so I don't really know what the problem is. Obviously, there are a couple of issues with the UI not being perfect. They could have done a better job with the UI navigation, I feel, but those are like very minor things. I can't really find something that I would say, oh, I really don't like this aspect of it. As far as I'm concerned, this is an improvement on all the Dragon Ages we've had, unless you just really like that hardcore tactical only experience. Then you might kind of have a little bit of a problem with it, because the tactical camera, even though it's pretty good and it allows you to do the fast forward stuff and whatnot like that, it is pretty cool, but it is still not like maybe as good as the Dragon Age Origins one. I'm not sure how this controls using a mouse, but I've heard several complaints, so I just don't know. But personally, it's been one of the best games I've played this year, without a doubt. Just really, really solid. I'll be making more Dragon Age videos. I know several people have been asking for a full playthrough. That's probably not going to happen because I just don't have the time. But I will definitely be making more videos on Dragon Age, so you can look forward to that. As per usual, leave me your comments, feedback, all that kinds of good stuff in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.